I think 20 years back, if you see, एक बार शादी हो जाती थी तो actresses, I don't know whether it was conscious choice that they wouldn't work or they wouldn't get work, but the perception was कि शादी कर लिया तो career खत्म. In fact, recently in an interview, I was talking to someone as to how on the day that I was getting married, a fellow actor told me the same thing, that, oh my God, are you sure about this? And I'm like, I don't think so. You need to do what you feel, and just because, I'm not going to stop my personal life because of my professional life.
Hello everyone, my name is Onam Gupta and you're watching India.com Z Media. So today I have with me actress Ishita Dutta. How are you, Ishita?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. So first of all, Ishita, it's a great year for you, starting as you became a mother. And congratulations for your baby boy.
Thank you.
So, the journey of parenthood is something very heart-touching. So tell us, how are you soaking in this huge feeling of being a mom?
I think there's so many mixed emotions. Firstly, it has been very, very overwhelming. It has been very, very special. I think, you hear people talking about how a kid changes your life, but I think you realize it and you feel it only once you have a child of your own. I mean, my entire life is all about my baby boy. I can hear him right now. He's like playing, crying, and all of that is happening, and I'm enjoying like every second of it. In fact, I keep telling Vatsal that whenever I have to step out for work, I feel like I miss those moments. I want to soak in all of him, before he grows up, because I know he's going to grow up very, very soon.
No, actually, I love the name Vayu as well. And, there's a sort of discussion which goes on between every new parent couple that, yeah, baby ki shakal to mere pe gayi hai, nahi, mere pe gayi hai, that sort of thing. So you and your husband, have that often conversation?
Actually, कोई doubt ही नहीं है. He looks completely like Vatsal. Like, वो मेरे तरह बिल्कुल भी नहीं लगता है. So I keep saying that Vatsal, 9 months मैंने उसे कैरी किया, मैंने इतनी मेहनत की, and जब वो बाहर आया, पूरी दुनिया जो भी उसको देख रहा था, like, अरे ये तो एकदम वत्सल है. And पहले I was in denial. I used to be like, नहीं वो मेरे तरह लगता है. लेकिन अगर वत्सल की बचपन की फोटो मैं देखूं और वायु की देखूं, बिल्कुल सेम है. वो पूरा अपने फादर साइड के फैमिली की तरह ही दिखता है.
And थोड़ा सा, do you feel कि यार when people say कि तो अपने dad पे है, what do you feel? थोड़ा गुस्सा आता है या फिर
पहले थोड़ा सा लगता था कि अरे नहीं मेरे तरह लगता है, but then I feel Vatsal is a good looking boy, so I'm happy.
Pregnancy is a transformative experience for a woman and bringing about numerous changes in one's body. So can you share the emotions and challenges you faced during the postpartum period?
I think throughout, during also, I think the first 3 months काफी difficult होता है. सबके लिए अलग होता है. For me, the nausea, the uncomfort, suddenly you can't go out. Like, my doctor had asked me not to travel, not to step out. So for me, that was a sudden transition from being a very outgoing person to suddenly पूरी lifestyle change हो जाती है. खाना नहीं खा सकते. I couldn't eat half the things. I was losing weight. Of course, the second part of my pregnancy was very nice. I really enjoyed it. Postpartum was very, very tough. I think the first 40 days, there's a reason why they say कि 40 days आपको पूरा rest लेना पड़ता है, because your body has gone through so much emotionally, physically. Hormones are all over the place. I used to get up, I used to cry. कोई reason नहीं होता था, but I would just feel very low. And today, looking back, I can say it was all the hormones, but at that time, कुछ समझ में नहीं आता है. So, what really helped me was my friends who had delivered recently. A lot of mommy groups that I joined, and I would talk to them and they would share their experiences, and that really helped me. Another thing that helped me was, of course, my family support. Vatsal was constantly like, you should step out, agar aapko man nahi kar raha hai, go for a walk, let's go for coffee. And generally 40 days tak bilkul step out nahi karte, but I started going out much before that because I just felt that I needed to just walk out, and wo fresh air mere liye bahut zaruri tha. And that really stopped me from getting into postpartum depression. And that's why I keep advising the new mothers that I talk to now in the group. Now I am a senior in the group, and jo naye mothers, I keep telling them, do what works for you. Of course, take care of your health, but it's very important कि आपकी family भी आपको समझे, आपकी needs को समझे, because अगर आप healthy नहीं हो, अगर आप happy नहीं हो, तो baby happy नहीं होगा. So, of course, you take care of the baby, but you have to also take care of yourself. So, thankfully, my journey had been good because जो support मुझे मेरे parents, मेरे in-laws और मेरे husbands के से मिला, that was I can't even express. Like, I'm so fortunate to have a family like this.
There has been a perception, like in the entertainment industry, not just in Bollywood, that actresses may face challenges in their career, after getting married. And several actresses, including you challenged those stereotypes, and by continuing to pursue their careers and after marriage and even motherhood. So, do you think that there has been a noticeable shift in the attitudes within the industry?
Of course, definitely. I mean, I think 20 years back, if you see, एक बार शादी हो जाती थी तो actresses, I don't know whether it was conscious choice that they wouldn't work or they wouldn't get work, but the perception was कि शादी कर लिया तो career खत्म. In fact,
Exactly.
recently in an interview, I was talking to someone as to how on the day that I was getting married, a fellow actor told me the same thing that, oh my God, like, are you sure about this? And I'm like, I don't think so. You need to do what you feel. And just because, I mean, I'm not going to stop my personal life because of my professional life. I think they both
Exactly.
go hand in hand. In fact, my personal life is more important. And like, fortunately, I mean, nothing changed. In fact, I did more work after marriage. And what also happened is that most of our leading actresses in the last 10 years, they have got married and they have worked. So I think they have set an example also. At the same time, shift bhi hua hai where the directors, producers, for them, it doesn't really matter now कि शादी हुई है, single हो, committed हो. You have to do your work. You have to give a hit film. You have to work hard and do your craft well. That is more important. Similarly, motherhood also, I think, of course, when you're in the industry, you have to look a certain way. I understand that, कि एक expectation होता है of the way you look. And if you maintain yourself, I mean, all the actresses you see, they bounce back and they're looking better and hotter.
Yeah.
And I think they are motivation for me when I see them, and I'm like, wow, like, it is possible. Of course, you take those 6 months, 7 months. Some people take more time, some people take less. So I'm not saying that you have to bounce back. There are actresses who have not bounced back to their previous figures, and that's absolutely fine. You need to accept, and you need to be happy with what you are. So I'm not sure when I'm going to bounce back to my previous weight. But I'm saying that if I want to, I can, and I don't think so. Work is going to be a problem. It's going to be my decision if I want to work.
Now, talking like your elder sister, Tanushree Dutta. So she's an actress too. So before entering this business, did she offer you any career advice?
I started off with television, and again, a lot of people are like, "Oh, you can't start with TV. You can't make the transition to movies and this and that." And I was also not sure, but my sister was like, "You know what? You need to be a good actor. You need to focus on your craft, and the platform will choose you automatically, and you can work on all the platforms and be happy." And I'm so glad that I listened to her, and I started with television, and maybe because I was already trained by doing all that work, I got Drishyam and then the other films and whatever work I've done. So I think she's giving me some fabulous advice, which till today I always follow. Like when people ask me, are you going to go back to television? Are you going to only do films or web? I always tell them that, if the project is good, if my role is good, I'm going to be doing that. It doesn't matter for me what platform I'm working on, as long as I am happy with what I'm doing.
Yeah. And everybody wants to know that why don't we see her that like on screen now, Tanushree?
I think that is a question that you need to ask her. I don't want to be answering that question, but I really would want to see her back on screen because I think she, like, even today whenever she posts a picture or I see her already, and I'm like, my God, your face is so glamorous, like, wow, she really looks nice. So plus she's a very talented actress also. So please ask her this question because I'm trying to see her back on screen.
Are you sure? Like, is it not like whatever stays in the house type? Or anything?
No. I really want to know because I think, of course, she would love to be back. I think she's probably waiting for the right one. But again, I really want her to say this. But yeah, I hopefully I'm going to see her back on stream soon.
So, we know her, like she's a strong woman. She has she stands for herself, and she's the first woman who got the Me Too campaign wave in India. So, how is it to be in the presence of such strong women?
I think my sister's always been that person. In fact, in school also, nobody would mess with me because she was my sister. She was always this protective sister that I had, even throughout my career, everywhere. She's been this strong person. I don't think so. I'm as strong as her. I always aspire to be like her. And I think she's given motivation to so many others to stand up for what is right. So I think it's fabulous that she's my sister. Like, I am her sister.
Yeah. So, how did you support to her when there was that period, like, as a sister?
I think a lot has happened. I mean, it was a difficult phase when things were happening. I don't want to get into that, but what I can say is that as a family, we've always supported each other, and we have each other's back. And I think I always tell everybody, and she knows that it takes a lot of guts to do what she did, to even stand up and talk about something that is happening, because a lot of women don't. I'm not blaming those women who don't, because, like I said, it needs a lot of guts to actually stand up and talk about things that has happened to you. So I think hats off to her.
So now talking about Drishyam series, and you portrayed the character of a teenager who undergoes a distressing situation. So how difficult was it to come out of such role, and did it impact you?
Yes, it did. In fact, just before I was supposed to shoot for it, I knew the scene that I'll be shooting, and I had a lot of discussion with Abhishek, who's the director of the film. And we were trying to draw inspiration and refer to a lot of scenes, because like, I didn't know how to portray somebody who gets fits, and so we would see a lot of videos, and coincidentally, I was shooting for another show at that point, and somebody on set got fits, and it happened right in front of my eyes, and to see that, to experience that in person, and that time you realize the intensity of it, that how traumatizing it can be for a person. And I remember going back and telling him that I saw this, and of course it was really sad that I had to witness and somebody had to go through this, but that kind of helped me portray that. And of course, 2-3 days after doing that scene also, somewhere it stays, it lingers on, and you keep thinking about the person who's going through that at that point, how difficult it is, how it's important for somebody to be there, otherwise it can really be very dangerous for that person. So I think every role that you do, it somewhere it stays back. So the same thing happened with this also. In fact, after the film released, I actually met a couple of people who have come to me and told me that they are going through something like that, and how much it meant to see that on screen, and it brought tears to their eyes, and I spent a lot of time talking to them. So yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that people get fits, but it has actually affected me a little. But I think as actors, after a point, you kind of get over it.
And we heard Ajay Devgan, he usually play pranks with his co-star on the sets. Is it true?
I have heard also. Fortunately, I was not a part of any of his pranks, because yes, I've heard a lot of stories. But no, not. I think maybe because the movie was such, it was a very serious, intense film. So most of the scenes used to be very serious and intense. So no pranks here.
Okay. So we all want to know that will we be seeing you in Drishyam 3? Will there be a Drishyam 3?
Yes, there are talks. Like, I know as much as probably I still need to get more information from the production team. But yes, they are talking. They are developing part 3, and of course, I would be a part of it. And I'm really waiting to, because like the audience, even I want to know what happens in the third part. Like, what are the twists and turns that can happen? Because I think script wise, this is one of the films that the story is so strong. The story is the hero. So I am pretty excited to get the call when they'll tell me come for the reading, and I'll get to know what's happening in the show.
Thank you so much, Ishita, for joining with us, and I wish you all the best.